3, 2, 1. Okay.
I have a really nice waveform for you.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes.
Alright. Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Animacast. This is your podcast for animators and artists, featuring animators and artists. Today I have with me FAVariety and
Hello.
RemyTHG.
So,
Yeah.
Introduce yourselves.
you
Hi,
first.
okay. Hi, I'm FAVariety. I draw stuff, mainly anime, and honestly, I haven't animated since for a while now, so I'm quite rusty.
What was the last animation you made?
It's like a random combo with stick figures. Just to like practice.
I was really hoping you would say the 360 collab, your favorite collab.
So I finished that one.
Dude.
I'm kind of proud of it.
Alright, Remy?
So, my name is RemyTHG, at least from here. I do stick animations as well. My current project right now is working on a collab that is yet to be announced.
Is it?
Be gone!
Okay.
Oh, totally.
No, I have to bleep that now. I have to bleep that.
It's a joke, by the way. It's not.
More
a real
sound
thing.
work for you!
Unless.
It doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about.
It doesn't. Alright, we shall talk no more about that.
Okay.
Alright, and hi, I'm your host at 10.360. You probably know
Hi.
me from Meme Dream,
Exactly.
and that's it.
Totally.
Like, who knows me from anything else?
I don't know.
Yeah,
The most viewed
Right.
thing on your channel.
yeah. I mean, Meme
So-
Dream fucking sucks, honestly. Whenever I say that live, people get so mad.
Like, no offense, I'm kind of glad I didn't join.
Excuse me and email me at don'tgiveafuck@gmail.com.
Yeah. It took like 1 minute. Like, not 1 minute. It took a month to make.
It's full of MLG at most.
That was at the
Memes are
time when
toxic, right?
Ugandan Knuckles was this thing, and it hurt my soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I started it in
Like-
January of 2018, and that was the month of Ugandan Knuckles. So 90% of the collab was Ugandan Knuckles.
Basically. And then aside
It
from just
died
the
so
Donald
quickly.
Trump and Hillary Clinton debate, it's like, oh, just Ugandan
Yeah, there's a
Knuckles.
couple of those. All right, so first subject,
Okay.
mobile animation. Mobile animation's always been confusing to me, like stick nodes or flip a clip, or I think like they're the best, or at least closest to Flash, is like Rough Animator.
I suppose.
I think its layout is fairly similar.
Rough I never heard of it.
Kinda, but I mean, it's just like a fucking mobile animation. It's like it's so small. How would you even like get all the tools and whatnot? Plus, I think the framing with the program itself is a little bit janky to me.
I think,
What?
honestly, it's not as difficult as you think, because it's fairly similar to Flipnote.
Well, no, but it's tedious.
Well, what animation isn't tedious?
True, but no. It's what I mean is
No, I
like
mean,
the
like-
program itself is a little tedious.
The UI, I mean. Like, UI?
Wait, what?
Whatever.
Oh.
No, I mean like the interface.
Yeah, the interface.
Oh,
Yeah.
the UI.
There we go. That's the word.
Yeah, the user interface.
I tried flip a clip. Yeah, like
Yeah,
once,
I think it was
and I
Flip a
just
Clip.
gave up completely.
I tried that once when I told one of my teachers in elementary school. This is the first time I've thought of this in forever.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, I animate. And they're like, cool, animate. So I downloaded Flip a Clip, and I failed miserably.
Just just to show off.
So, yeah.
the only mobile animation thing I ever at least tried, and this was like what 2 years ago, was like I was gonna say flip a clip for a second there. Stick nodes.
Stick nodes.
Yeah, because I keep forgetting that Stick Nodes is a mobile program that people use, and yet still master. I'm like, why? How?
Yeah,
funny
that's like
thing is
Heckray, though.
heck
Like,
right, but
the-
you know.
do we have Hecray in this? No, we do not. I need to
No.
get Hecray
Don't.
in here
Yeah,
so
you gotta.
we
You,
can talk to him about that.
Get him,
yeah.
yeah,
Next
on the next
subject
podcast, I
to stick notes.
guess.
Is
Yeah.
that Hecray? If you're here,
We gotta do
if
it.
you're hearing this, hit me up.
Call me.
All right, but like I think I made an update video in my car, and
Yeah.
What?
in the end of it, I just went on this fucking rant about stick nodes and shit. Why people shouldn't be on it for so long, and then it's like I kept missing like the community aspect of it because the stick nodes community is a lot fucking bigger than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like it in a way it was kind of like Flipnote Hatena, but I grew to hate Flipnote simply because like it was just personally holding me back. That didn't mean that it held anyone else back. There were still legends who continue to animate off of Flipnote, like Salty Milk, Epic Guitar. Does Epic Guitar still?
I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while.
I mean, I think he switched to music production. I think I messaged him to use one of his songs, and then he never responded. And then later I realized it was Epic Guitar. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, the dude's like, oh, just another fan.
Well, I mean, I had Hatena in the name, so probably.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I when it comes to like stick nodes and like whenever I hear people like go crazy with it, it just makes me think like not to like just to change this from animation to gaming, but it just reminds me of like how people's like, oh, we should break melee in Smash Brothers. It's like they just try to like find like the best way to make like the best animation possible with stick nodes, despite it being like a mobile or tablet program.
That's the one thing I don't get is like how people, because stick nodes is kind of like it's most like pivot, right?
Exactly.
So why do people spend so much time making these? Like, have you seen some of the hands they make from that? Like those are actually
God,
really good.
Yeah.
Like, why on stick nodes?
Because I can't, even in normal Flash, I can't do hands for the life of me. And then there's people doing stick nodes, and I see them like, dude, you have to do this pixel perfect. How the fuck? You must be on some kind of like iPod tablet or something.
I can see where the rant is coming from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back slowly, but it's like I
No,
okay, to go back to that though. Like on Flipnote, I hated it for so long because it just held me back. And then I found this video that Nixion, I don't know how you say his name. He's another Flipnote animator. And he's really fucking skilled. And I might get him on here, but probably not. I don't know if I've ever heard him talk.
So we have Hecray and Nixion to bring here.
Just bring everyone.
Yeah.
in.
Just put them on the top.
Everyone join. Everyone is here. Good. But it was just from this guy. I think it's CS Ghosts. He's another stickman Flipnote animator. He tried to replicate the style of Flipnote and did really well on it.
I think that's what it was. I think that's his
like
name.
he made a video, kind of in the format of like a storytime animator video, but it was about the history of Flipnote Hatena, and that video just it fucking touched me, and then I was like, okay, so I don't hate Flipnote, I just miss the community. Cool.
Did he did the animation in stick notes? The storytime animation?
No, I forgot what he did it in. He did it in some kind of 2D program, but he replicated the style of Flipnote really well.
Yeah.
wow.
Like colors and all.
It was really good.
Oh, that's unexpected.
Yeah, I'll have to send that to you, man. It was really good.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you were the one who actually posted that video too.
Well, Nixon sent it to me first, and then I shared it everywhere too.
Fun.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got, throughout my years of being in the dojo and following stick page and all, I've never heard of stick nodes. Like I've heard of it by name, but I never really knew what it is.
You serious?
Really?
So like, yeah, like for real.
It's like a pivot for it's like a pivot for phones.
Yeah, I know Pivot, but I just found out today that it's on mobile.
Yeah.
That's how uninformed I am.
That's why it's
of
so
stick
widely
nodes.
spread, because everyone nowadays has a phone, so everyone like that's
Right.
amazing that so many people can create.
Yeah, I've tried
And it's like,
animating on the phone before. It's like
And
very
and yet
difficult.
they choose
It's
not to
difficult.
because of
It's
other-
actually difficult.
Like,
They
But then
choo-
that also that just confuses me why people stick to that sort of stuff. But
I
it's like
guess-
I'm conflicted because I also know what it feels like.
I guess I guess people.
So I'm like
taking
I'm a
the challenge.
hypocrite.
Yeah,
I
pretty
think.
much.
Well, the only possible reasons that I can think of are just like you can't afford a PC. You're a little bit trying
Well-
to edge onto Flash or whatever, but you're still like hanging on to stick nodes because it's the only thing that you know.
Well,
Kind of like basic
that's the
stuff like
thing.
that.
That's saying as if it's like a starter kind of thing to animation, you know?
Yeah, you can say the same
Uh,
for Pivot though.
Yeah.
Actually, actually the thing I think is a little bit better is that stick nodes is more freeform, where it's like you can actually make like curves and whatnot with just your
Oh, really?
finger instead of just putting one stick to another. Like I don't know how you say it.
Right.
Like bones, but like bones. You know how
You
like
can just bend it
spiders.
and-
Yes, basically. Like without having to
Oh.
use a separate tool, you can actually make like curves. You can like draw like a nice little line going up
Oh.
and down, but like curvy. But you can't exactly do that with pivot. I'd
So
say like
there's
that's
a little bit
good.
of free.
Yeah,
Oh,
a little
okay,
bit
I
of free
get it.
form to do it. Like I'd say
Okay.
it's a better way to get it used to like I don't know, somehow if you get a millionaire, you can actually like adapt from a tablet to a tablet.
Right. Yeah. Animating from a tablet is like slightly easier. Like not talking like a Wacom tablet, like an iPad or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, basically. And then people who have like what thousands of dollars get like one of those freaking I don't even know what those are called. Those things are like where you can actually see the screen and you're actually drawing on it kind of like a piece of paper instead of just like oh, you're having your pen on your Wacom tablet and then you're just
Like-
looking at your computer screen.
I keep hearing the same thing for the latest iPad, I think. I'm not quite tech savvy, so
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's kind of that sort of thing
mm,
because I think not to stray off animation, but
yeah.
a tablet from Apple is like what more than $500 or 300 at least.
Pretty much. Might
So
as well
it's
just buy
basically
a tablet monitor.
Yeah, so you just buy that and then flip a clip, just start going ham.
Yeah.
That it's kind of, I really want to get Hickory in here because he's active on both Flash and stick nodes. Like
Oh yeah, that's right. He
He's
is.
still
so
on
Oh yeah.
I'm curious of
Wow.
the appeal to stick nodes.
Wasn't he?
It's like I tried to animate on stick nodes for a little bit, but it's way too easy. It's just way too easy. I'm
Right.
sorry. At
it
least
just
when you're at
reminds you-
some sort of like when
Someone
you've been
showing off.
animating for over 8 years, almost 8.5 years, when you go back down to a level of stick nodes, it's so easy.
It just reminds you of flip a clip.
I get PTSD.
I mean, flip.
I
no,
can't
my
disappoint this teacher. I have to-
It's like as soon as you go back to flip a clip or stick note, just like, man, this is just like DSI. I don't know about you guys.
No. In a weird way, it is like community wise, or like just that feeling to share
So-
in a small community.
So the only problem is the community then.
Well, I feel like most of it's the quality, but the quality doesn't hold them back from creating. So
Hmm.
The only
because it's like when you have a Flash collab and then you see like one stick notes part, it's obvious to address the elephant in the room. You know.
I think the elephant in the room. I think the elephant in the room is the stick nodes the stick node's watermark. That is, it's like,
No,
oh,
that's
this
the
is a stick node's.
flip-a-clip watermark.
Oh, Flip-a-clip. Oh shit, I'm like mixing it up. Well, still, it's the same thing. Like Flip-a-clip has that freaking watermark. It's like, oh, so this is where it's from.
Does stick nodes have a watermark?
I thought because like it's on the bottom left hand side.
I don't think it
I've
even
ne-
needs a watermark.
Maybe I've.
Like, you can
Ooh,
tell
ooh.
from.
It might be both. I don't freaking know. It's mobile.
I'm gonna look up stick nodes and see if I could find a watermark.
Like they're both free. It's just that like if you want to get rid of like some kind of watermark, you have to like pay some kind of crappy subscription.
Yeah,
I think it's like like 3 or $2 or something.
It's like a normal thing for mobile.
We're not sponsored, by the way.
I wish we are.
Yeah, no one even fucking knows about this.
This is the first episode.
We have 50 subscribers on YouTube at this time.
Who knows? Who knows? Wish for a miracle.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Go
don't
out
think
of
there's
my house.
a watermark, but you can absolutely tell whenever it's stick nodes.
Yeah.
Because like
There's no gradients or anything.
Doesn't like stick nodes only have at least like one color?
black.
No.
No, I thought it was just like
That's-
black and then at least like some other
That's pivot.
2, maybe 3 colors. No, it's pivot.
No, not even pivot.
No, pivot has
Oh.
pivot definitely has different colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's just how you have to do it for each individual like joint.
Yeah. So do we want to move on to the next subject, or you guys got anything else to say about mobile animation?
I think.
Uh,
Well, I know I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. Because like, I'm not really
All right.
All right.
on.
So, FA, you wanted to talk about this ArcSys game.
right.
I didn't even look that up.
I know
That's
exactly
Like I
what
said I would.
I know exactly what
Oh,
he's talking about.
Fucking
bro,
fucking
in this
guilty
subject.
gear, bro.
Dude. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So
go on.
Guilty Gear, man. Like you and I have both seen the
Bro.
new Guilty Gear trailer. That shit
Fuck
looked
yeah.
awesome.
All right, hang on. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna look it up.
Right.
Yeah, you just
the-
look up the new Guilty Gear 2020.
ArcSys is Arc System Works, by the way. It's like a short term.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
For context, for Hatena and possibly others who don't know about Arc System games, they're obviously the people who made Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, they're you could tell by their style of quality and how they animate their stuff. Is that like
Whoa. Okay. I see.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's reminiscent.
Yes.
It's reminiscent to like sprite animation. It's reminiscent to sprite animation,
Whoa.
but it looks so much better and high quality to the point where you think, "Oh, this is actually 3D," but no, it is 3D,
And-
but it's in the style of 2D, and it's awesome.
What the shit?
They
Yeah.
respect the pixel animation style from the old arcade games.
And it's so good.
Yeah.
And
This is actually
That's
like
why I
really
respect them.
fucking impressive.
yeah, the new 2020 Guilty Gear has upped their ante, especially with the camera work.
They went way fluid than usual.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're way more
Like,
fluid.
Of course, they still keep the pixel style animation where it's like, oh, okay, this hit goes into another hit, but it doesn't look like it would because like it's good. It's actually better that way,
They-
because of their style of animation. Like you would see like
Right.
Tekken, where it's like, oh, everything flows into another hit. Like okay, you do like one roundhouse into another roundhouse. But
yeah.
in reality, that's like a way of limiting yourself, which is also a part of this topic. Limit animation.
They personally called it 2.5D because of
Yeah.
what you just said. It's like it seems 2D, but it's actually 3D.
Exactly.
It's so
Yeah.
trippy. Okay, can I say the first of all, I'm really impressed by like the close-up face scenes and how they just rigged that
Oh yeah,
to make it
talking
look
about
so
that.
accurate. Because
You know,
it's like it actually threads the line between being 2D and 3D, unless
Exactly.
you know what exact program you used.
yeah, exactly. No,
But like it reminds me of the Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
In a way.
yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Because Into the
Anyway.
Spider-Verse, it kind of has that same. not gonna lie, it kind of has that same kind of feel to it, where it's like, oh, this would basically be put on a comic page, but it's actually animated in 3D. But it also has that I don't know what they call it. I know there was a trick to it because they had.
It has a little bit of. It has a lot of multi-frames for Miles, the main character.
Yeah.
Who spoilers.
Oh,
he,
right. I heard that.
Yeah,
I've
he
heard
he
of it.
finds out that he's gonna be pretty much the next Spider-Man because the old Spider-Man's dying or some shit, and you can
like-
see like his frame rate is in 12 frames per second while he's still learning, and while
and then
he's
it
still new to the
increases
whole thing.
slowly
But
once he's
as he masters his technique, it like smooths into 24 frames per second.
Yeah.
And it like, but when it's like the camera and everyone else is like 24 frames per second, and just Miles is 12 frames per second, it just,
boosted.
I don't know, that just really reminded me of this.
Plus, also the drastic change for when he's not bit into when he is bit actually like emphasizes that, oh, this is his starting point, and he's slowly gonna be growing as the movie progressed.
It's more on the artistic choice, right?
It's, yeah, pretty much the artistic choice and how.
It's a really nice touch. Not gonna lie.
It's definitely
Oh, yeah.
definitely a touching quality, and like a nice attention to detail from comic to movie.
Yeah, it's like it's probably one of, if not my most favorite animation recently, like in the past few years.
Yeah. We'll get into the topic of 3D movies in a second, but like let's go back to like.
Oh
Guilty
right,
Gear.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like 2 subjects away.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Stick around, everyone.
It's at least relevant because like the new Guilty Gear has done at least definitely some new things with their camera work and their animation at the same time. Because I don't know if you saw the girl, I forgot her name, the one
May.
with the pirate hat. Yeah, May.
The May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw
I
saw
just
that.
watched that one.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
gone
that
there
one.
right now.
You're drawing.
Yeah.
Hey, send it to me and I
So-
can show it on the screen right now.
Oh yeah. for
Yeah.
sure. Wait, let me just screen cap it.
The way they do their camera work, I saw was like, I don't know how to describe this correctly, but it's when it's when she's starting to run over to the mid-air opponent, and then it's like the camera work is right behind her.
Right. It's there on the previous game as well.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I mean. But like, in terms of like the background itself, like you would be fooled to where, oh, this background is also 3D, but you can't actually move within it. You're just moving in this 2D plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they just go like, yeah, fuck you. We're putting this in a different corner.
But yeah, the 3D background is in the other games as well, especially with the 2D games like Blaze Blue. They have 3D backgrounds as well.
Yeah,
It's
they
like a
definitely have
thing
3D
for Axis
backgrounds.
now.
Yeah.
like a thing.
Well, they're trying to like. I mean, with new games, like you see them improve a lot. Like
Right.
Fighter Z,
The-
in Fighter Z, they already like experimented with the camera work in terms of like the supers.
I like how like all the dramatic finishes is like very similar to the animation,
Yeah, exactly.
like
Like,
the original animation. It's like, how even like the morphed face, like,
dude, oh my god,
perspective and all that.
it's actually so funny because the morph faces are obviously a trick just for the camera, but like I've seen a
yeah, with the
video where
model
they
as well.
actually they broke it. Like they actually broke the camera, and you see how much they had to like how much they had to trick the camera.
Wait, they broke the camera,
Okay,
No, they
yeah,
broke
there's
the model.
or they broke
No,
the models?
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's not that. Okay, here, they basically had a mod where you can actually move the camera anywhere you want. They didn't break the models. It's just that
yeah.
it's just that they changed the camera to where, say, you have a side view of Gogeta, the newest character in the game. And then if you were to move the camera at least slightly, yeah, the face would look all fucked up. The face would look fucked up, the
Okay, I
model would
get
look
it.
horrible, and like everything would look like it's
I
like
get
a
it.
bits and
But
pieces.
like on
So yeah,
camera,
it's
it looks really nice.
yeah, on a correct
I'm-
camera. It's all camera
Yeah.
work.
I'm thinking I'm thinking of something like Hot Diggity Demon, and he broke the fourth wall in one of his like movie review videos, which are fucking hilarious, by the way.
Oh
And
yeah,
I
it's the Sonic one. I think it's either the Sonic
is
one,
it?
the Sonic
No,
movie.
no, it was. I think it was like the Doctor Strange one,
The Doctor Strange one?
where
Really?
where he breaks the camera kind of, and then it shows that his fingers just really close and stretched out to the camera, and if you change the position, then the arm would just be really stretched out,
right,
and then
yeah.
it breaks
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Basically what they do.
Yeah, it's basically what Arc System does. Because there is a good example of freaking Piccolo. You when he does a light grenade, a move that makes him outstretch his arms, and kind of like a Kamehameha. But it's like way out there. But if you take off the camera, his hands are huge.
Yeah.
His hands are like bigger than his freaking body. Like what the. It's all for the camera work, but that's what like enhances. It enhances the impact.
Perspective. Yeah.
Well, it enhances the perspective and the impact of like of the move itself, which is really great for animation. Because sometimes like 2D animators do this, but when it comes to 3D animation, like it's a lot harder, especially with a 3D model.
Yeah. They also managed to like do squash and stretch with the 3D models as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with
they
like squash and stretch with some of the moves that they do, they actually they implement squash and stretch to some of the combos as well.
Trying to find it, but I can't see it.
There's no
find a video.
2020 footage yet, but you just look for the old system game. I think it was a Revamp 2 or I can't remember the game. Guilty Gear something too.
There's a video essay on it.
Yeah.
Oh, can find it, though. Or you can just
I'm
watch
just mesmerized right now.
just mesmerized.
Okay, we need to move on because we're gonna talk about this.
If you
for
want to
quite
know
a
more,
while.
you can just watch the GDC conference. Yeah, just watch that and just be amazed by your own.
So,
All right. Next thing I wanted to talk about was Animate.
Oh, the new platform.
Yeah.
I need to,
Yeah,
I
so-
need to learn
Dojo?
about this.
I don't think they're ditching that. For those of you who don't know,
Because I don't mind.
Animate is I would say it's the new Hyun's dojo, but it's still like in its early stages, so it's not off the ground yet.
It's
But
in its
they're-
beta.
Their whole catch, and I don't know why they didn't just add this to the dojo. Maybe they're just trying to see if Animate performs better than the dojo.
Yeah.
But you can support your creators, and then once you have like $100 or something, you can cash out.
Oh, that's a really nice feature.
So it's very community built, like even more so.
I mean, in terms of I don't know what to call it, a business standpoint, but Hyun's Dojo, I believe, I don't know when it started production, but I know that I joined in like
I think it was 2013.
Yeah, probably 2013. That means I joined in 2016, so that 3 years later. For Hyun's Dojo to be in production for that, I don't think like YouTube monetization was like big in that point yet. I think it was like 2014, 2015 is when monetization and supporting creators actually became a thing. So because I believe in the beta stages of Hyun's Dojo, it was just to see if you can get like your animations up there, make your own forum, make sure that like things go as smoothly as possible. And then I think
well, like you can get money on Hyun's Dojo, but it's a lot more complicated. It's more staff.
pretty much.
Yeah,
It's more around the staff, like
thought it was
especially
more
for
personal.
partners.
Oh.
I'm not gonna get too far into this because I don't know if I should, but if you want like a cut of, like if you want just a little bit of money from one of your videos, then I think they'll allow like some amount. I forget exactly what, but and then of course there's also sponsorships. Like if Hyun has a sponsorship, like the funny advertisements in the beginning of the videos that everyone loves.
The freaking
I enjoy them.
Yeah, I love them. But
Yeah.
he'll ask the the host or the creator of the animation that he wants to put the ad in
He
front
wants
of,
to share a cut.
and he'll give them a cut of the sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like the only way that users on the dojo can get money
Yeah.
that I know of.
Yeah. So, and with the, I believe with the new Animate platform, it's basically that if you want to support your creator, in a way is like Patreon, I guess. And then like once you have, like you said, once you have
It
like
is a
100,
Patreon then.
it's basically like a Patreon thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because there is like a support
Yeah,
thing. Like
it's more
Gilded Guy
direct.
did a preview of his most recent animation that he's working on, which is Gilded Guy versus Oxob,
Mm-hmm.
and it's for supporters only. So if you're a supporter
Right,
of his
yeah,
channel
yeah.
or on Animate, then you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried posting like a work in progress animation there for supporters only. All the while, while I posted the same thing on Twitter, people just got confused.
Bruh.
Lol.
Bro,
Yeah, I think he made it strictly for the Animate support feature and Patreon, of course.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if he. Well, it's currently in testing, but for now, I think it's like a really good idea. Like, cause
I think it's a good idea, but it solely rides on the whole supporters idea. I think that could just be kind of morphed into the dojo. But then
Yeah.
again, I think they are just trying to see if this performs better.
Yeah, because it's not that like the entire Hyun Dojo community are consisting of 13-year-olds and below. That's just faking to be 13 because obviously they have like a age limit where it's like you have to be 13 and up to even join the dojo in the first place. But
Slum.
throwing shade already, Jesus. All right. But anyway, like friggin'. You have to be like 13 and up to join Hyun's dojo in the first place, but you can watch some of Hyun's dojo's featured animations on YouTube, which is fine. It's just that like when it comes to like Animate, you're gonna have some of that 13 to I say it's like 13 to 16-year-olds wanting to support their creators but can't other than like say like 17, well sometimes 16 16 to 17 or 18-year-olds that have a job and can support the creators. It's just that like I don't want to say it's like a kind of a skill thing, but there is a bit of a skill gap because sometimes some animators are not exactly good, but also want to learn how to animate way better than they should. Because in terms of like a business standpoint, you want to get good animations to have better quality to get better, but the only problem is starting out. Because once you start out, it's hard to get people in if your animation is not exactly like top quality.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think actually they're in a way they're having that same issue with just the site itself.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they have the quality, but they're trying to make it kind of community built, but they don't have many options for community interaction besides comments, and that's it.
True.
Like they don't
Other
have
than the
any
Discord,
forum
though.
page or like I don't know what their goal is entirely. And I've been on Animate very rarely.
Same with me, really.
Yeah, because it's
I-
not there's not much to do. You can post animations, you can watch other people's
As of
animation,
now,
you
yeah,
can
because like it's
spend money supporting them,
Yeah,
and that's
like-
it.
Yeah, like you said, it is like still on its early stages.
Yeah, like I'm sure they're gonna add like a lot more, but as it
Yeah.
stands right now, like they're already trying to advertise it, but there's not much to do, so there's not much really to advertise.
Exactly.
So I
Other than
just
the
don't know what
the
their final
dojo.
goal is.
Yeah, because
But
yeah.
the Discord is like quite alive, to be honest.
Yeah, the Discord's
Is it-
alive. It's just that it's the excuse me. Their
Yeah,
Discord
it's
is alive.
because the Discord is more community built than the actual site
Exactly.
because you can interact far more.
like you need to go to the Discord to actually post
Yeah.
stuff on the site. So
Yeah,
But-
otherwise that's weird though, because it's like kind of heavily dependent on Discord.
on Discord, yeah, exactly.
That's
'Cause
kind of weird
the-
because you have
It's
to
different.
verify that you're an animator on the site through their Discord. I think.
yeah, you do.
But you
Correct
can
me if
chat on
I'm
the
wrong,
Discord.
anyone out there listening, but I think that's how it goes. But there's a lot of problems with Animate, but again, they are just like they've been testing this for a while. I think since 2016,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but they're just now making this more public. So.
It's
I mean,
just,
I'm excited to see what it has to bring, but as of now, it's just uninteresting.
Yeah, like I one more thing to add. It's just that like what like when it comes to like Discord and Animate, the reason why it would be like more community based is that like we have like a thing in Hyun's Dojo where you could possibly get notified, but you don't exactly like they have a bit of a problem on it because it's a bit delayed. But in Discord, it's like more real time. You actually get that real time connectivity with people, and you can actually discuss a lot of things on it. That's kind of why people use Discord more than they would probably do on Animate, because even like as you said, it's more Discord reliant because you get a lot more interactivity on there. Plus, you also get the choice of, hey, maybe I want to support the creator. Okay, go to Animate.
Yeah, it feels like Animate is more like a Patreon
Exactly.
It is.
for animators.
I mean, like, if you would want to make anime more interactive, I'd say like try to at least try. I don't know how web design works, but at least try to make it more real time, to where it's like, oh, you actually get notifications. You get like animator to audience kind of a chat thing. I don't know, because like Discord has like a whole server base where it's like, oh, you could do this real time anytime you want. You'll get pings. You'll get like a notification based on like whatever role you have, and that stuff is kind of like hard to do for like just a standard browser. So I mean, like, I don't know how else that would work unless you have like a dedicated server thing.
But then it'll
I
be just
think-
another dojo, right?
Kind of,
Is that
but well,
add-
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they want to make just another dojo. I think they want to really set this apart, but there's not.
It's just a platform for you to like post animation.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying it's like a little bit harder, because you don't
Yeah.
want to make another dojo, but you want to at least have that like connectivity,
It's kind
that
of
like
Yeah.
like interactivity on it.
That's got to be hard to figure out, though.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, I don't blame him, but I think he maybe advertised it a little too early because there's not much to present. So that's going to make a lasting first impression.
Yeah.
What would be nice though is if they do something similar to like another web page, ArtStation. There you can. It's basically a portfolio website. You can just post your artwork and all that, and people can see it. Then you can like apply for jobs because there's still like studios who post the like job openings in there, and you can just apply.
Hmm.
It could be a
Yeah.
thing though.
So,
right.
alright.
Do we want to move on to the next subject, or you guys got any more thoughts?
I think I'm good.
3D movies now.
Yeah?
Yeah,
So back to 3D movies. This is what you all stayed for.
For the 30 minutes.
Fuck anime.
First of all, I want to defend myself. I love the Captain Underpants movie because the style and animation was just so cool. Because it's like
seen that.
there's so many. Well, okay. Context for those who don't even know what Captain Underpants is. It was a comic book.
Oh
And
wow.
it was to relate it to something. It's like Big Nate and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, for example. I don't know if they sell those outside of the U.S. at all.
Yeah, I've
I don't
never heard
remember.
of it.
I have.
You've never heard of them. Well, it's like it's kind of like
Like
it's almost like a diary in a way,
of a wimpy kid.
which is like I would call it like a Diary of a Wimpy Kid genre, Like there's just a genre based around that because there's just the
Right.
occasional. There's the not the occasional. There's very often pictures to describe what's happening, and sometimes
Mm.
just complete sentences. It's very comic oriented. It's like a mixture of a comic book and an actual book.
And also a slice of life, depending on what genre you are in.
Right.
Yeah, but it's one of those, and its plot is that, if you can call it a plot, that these two kids make a comic book called Captain Underpants, and one day they hypnotize their mean principal into becoming Captain Underpants, and then he actually gets superpowers and shit. So that's Captain Underpants for you.
I forgot that was the entire point of Captain Underpants.
Yeah,
He
It's
hypnotizes
accurate.
the principal of all people.
Yeah. But so they made a 3D. I loved that series as a kid, by the way.
Oh, definitely.
I didn't read
same.
too many of the books, but I just loved reading those kinds of books. So by default, I loved it. But when they made a 3D movie, I saw like the trailer, and like they had a mix of 3D with 2D. They kind of did something similar to the Arxis. Yeah, that
yeah.
that
Oh,
that game,
Yeah.
but not as well. But they focused the 2D sort of stuff, like trails.
I guess it's
They
mainly
made
because
like
of
some of the
frame rate.
trails that you would see in 2D animation in 3D.
Right.
That I
It's
felt was
very
very
fluid.
appealing.
It's made by DreamWorks, right?
Yeah, I think it is by DreamWorks.
Yeah.
Like, DreamWorks animation
But,
is like very fluid.
Yeah,
It's like very.
I feel like
quick-moving
they are
animation.
I feel like they're the kind of company to get 3D animation right when trying to pull it from, like a book or any
Yeah.
previous
Like,
2D
they
strict.
don't really focus on realistic.
I would-
realism.
I would say like
Yeah.
the models. The models would look like the characters from Inside Out. I don't know if you remember that movie.
They look like Play-Doh.
Right.
But
Yeah,
like
they're very.
some of the effects. The effects are like 2D.
Hmm.
I'd relate it to. Oh, I just had it.
What the
Fuck. What was it? They had a. My mind was at the Charlie Brown movie, but then it was somewhere else.
The Snoopy one.
I
Wait,
think
Because
Oh,
I
that
haven't
is
seen the
Charlie
Charlie Brown movie, but
Yes.
I'm sure it was really good.
I've seen it. It's just that it's been
Yeah,
so
I've never
long.
seen it as well.
God, what the fuck was I just thinking about?
Captain Underpants.
God damn it! All right, whatever.
Yeah, you were talking about
it's-
Spider-Man, right?
Well, I don't know if I have anything else to say about that. Like,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
really fucking good movie.
Right.
For Captain Underpants, yeah.
Oh, have you seen the animatic for that?
I'm
Animatic.
I'm like taking a sneak peek at myself for a movie clip of Captain Underpants right now, and it actually does. Like, I would say it's not as like in the style of a comic book, but it's in the style of Inside Out. But it has like
It has a hint of
Out.
2D in there with the trails, man.
the trails, the effects, the other
Oh,
kinds of
I have what I was about to say.
stuff. Yeah.
It is
It-
Charlie Brown.
it- Their kind of animation heavily reminds me of rubber hose animation,
Ah, yeah.
Rubber hose.
especially just with the way that their limbs move, and just everything is all
Yeah.
bouncy. They heavily use squash and
Oh.
stretch.
Like
They
the
don't
old-
have bones often.
Like-
It's just rubber
Oh, okay.
limbs, which is where the term came from.
like the old Disney animations.
Yeah, like the
Right.
the traditional animation. Disney,
Oh, like Cuphead.
Yeah. Anything that they didn't rotoscope, basically.
I'm pausing that. Okay.
It's like really bouncy.
I just went to
Yeah,
oh god, I just went to the Saturday song and I was like, oh god.
and Cuphead, for another example, that more people would understand, is rubber hose animation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. DreamWorks is make the DreamWorks. Yep.
DreamWorks makes
That's
a
my
dream
joke.
work. Wow, great,
DreamWorks.
fantastic.
They
Thank
make
you.
Shrek, so that's a plus for me.
Aren't they making Shrek 5?
Please no, I don't need another Shrek in my life.
I think it was Roses Are Red, Ogres Are Green. Shrek 5 arrives in 2019.
Ah!
No, I'm hoping that was a joke.
I don't know if that's true, though, but I heard that and I love it.
I'm afraid it comes out in October.
Yeah. It's October. It's almost over.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, the trailer can come
I
out
think they
in-
changed it to 2020 though, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, wait. Would you? Oh my god. Does CGI count as an animation?
Yes,
I say it does.
it is.
Okay,
Depend-
so
depending on
would
how
you
you do
agree? Would you agree that they actually did a pretty good job in terms of animation with The Lion King?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Oh. I
Do
didn't
they-
watch it, but from the trailers, I'm guessing that, like that. I feel like they focused on making it far more visually pleasing than the original.
Mm.
Yeah, well,
So I'd say yes, but I've heard that that's all they focused on. The story didn't change.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Nothing really changed. They just made it look different. In that aspect, I
Some
think
of
they
the
did great.
shots too, so.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot more. I've seen a lot of themes in at least of this year when it comes to movies. It's that they tried making a lot of the old nice animated Disney or whatever other movies that we loved as a kid,
Into live action.
pretty much into live action CGI 3D animation. And to me, at least to me, that's like, unless you're improving in terms of story, it kind of hurts the animation because we get what the story was,
Yeah.
but like if you're trying to make the adaptation from the book, sure, fine. You're making something that's a little bit more mature, making something that's like that you would not normally see in like Disney or any kind of like child animation. But you would have to capitalize on the animation hardcore, like kind of like what Aladdin did, like how they made Iago from a parrot to a giant bird.
They what?
They actually did that in
I've
the
never
movie.
seen Aladdin, so.
No, that's fair. They actually did it in the movie. Spoilers. But
Oh, thanks.
no problem. They actually did like a really good job making Iago the parrot very freaking huge and still like in model of what a parrot should be. But this was all in
Okay.
like CGI.
Hmm.
So if they do that for any other future movies that they want to make an adaptation of, they have to step up their game because I'm a little afraid of the future.
Oh, because like the standard's like too high now.
The standard's getting higher, yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
I mean, have you seen the new Sonic movie?
Oh. Yeah.
It's not out.
I know it's not out, but have you seen the trailer though?
Oh, I'm kind
It looks amazing.
I hate you.
Don't criticize Sonic.
I will criticize
Sonic is my.
hard.
I love
meow.
meow. Ooh woo.
Meow. My God. I
Anger
love
and
Sonic.
rage
I fucking
fuels my
love Sonic,
soul.
dude.
Okay.
I'm
It's
kinda
so off model, it hurts.
Don't you dare fucking criticize Sonic.
I shall criticize the
If it's so easy, you do it.
Well, I mean,
the ultimate question. The ultimate.
well, we've seen Hot Diggity Demon do it.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for the new model.
Oh god, I want to see the new model so bad. I want to criticize the
dude.
fish on it.
I do. I
I
can
feel
guarantee
so
you
sorry for
everyone's
the new
going to be
animators,
mad
though.
no matter what. Sonic is never going to have a happy ending.
It's sad. It's so sad that it's true.
They will keep searching, but they will never achieve it.
The only one.
It's like the underdog who never achieves anything. It's like Team Instinct in Pokemon Go.
Oh god, no.
I'm right. I'm
Yeah,
right.
it's sad that you're right. God damn it. Okay, but what would happen if Sonic Boom had a movie?
Sonic Boom.
It won't.
It won't.
Oh,
it's still
the
it's still a
cartoon.
TV show.
Okay.
But you never know if
The
we
TV show is good.
if we can get Sans in Smash. So
Can we get Sonic from Sonic Boom and Smash?
if we
would
can get
kill for
Sans
a
in
Sonic
Smash, then
Underground.
why not?
I mean, we have
why not
we have
a Sonic
3
Boom
links.
movie?
We have 3 links, so I guess 2 Sonics isn't that far of a stretch.
I mean, technically 4. If you count the Mii sword fighter.
No.
No.
I mean,
He doesn't have a shield, no.
People can do mods.
he does. It's on his back.
We have mods. Dude.
Well, no, there's actually a
Mods.
costume on it. You have a Link costume.
I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't count.
I
It's,
don't-
it's
Oh.
just like Sans. It's not actually Sans.
But it's in Smash.
It's like you can
Alright.
have it be like
He doesn't do
Baldy,
that noise.
and then you just put a mask on it and it's Sans.
Alright, we should probably
yeah,
move
there's
to
no,
a different
there's no that
topic.
noise.
We should move to a
Anyways,
different
next subject. 5 types of animation, easiest to hardest. I thought this would be a fun little activity to end on.
Oh, goody.
So, okay. So, what are the 5 types? There's traditional animation,
Oh, yeah.
2D animation, 3D animation. Hang on, let me look them up so I don't mess this up.
Traditional animation as in like pen and paper.
I think
Yes.
any
Okay,
type
yeah,
of
that's
animation is hard.
Yeah.
For-
Motion graphics, which is typography mainly,
All right.
and
Motion
stop
graphic is
motion.
quite easy. How about tracing though? Rotoscope.
Okay,
Oh.
FA. We'll
What?
start with you.
Yeah.
What?
What do you think is the 5 easiest to
Oh.
hardest?
Shit.
Here, I'll copy this and paste it in the
Um,
Discord chat so we can organize it better.
Yeah.
Right.
Alright, here we go.
Oh, we have these 5.
Oh,
I guess I can start with like stop motion, because it's mainly photography. Yeah, you can just grab
Is it
any
as
anything.
your hardest or easiest?
Easiest, going to easiest
It's
to hardest.
easiest to hardest.
Really?
Yeah, stop motion is like quite easy. There's like a lot of tools for stop motion now that I just found out. That there's like a software, kind of like Flash, but you use photos. You can link your camera, your DSLR or something, and it'll immediately import photos to the software, and you can use onion skins on it. There's
Oh,
also phone
I
apps.
I know exactly
Okay.
what he's talking about. Remember the episode in Game Grumps where they actually did
Yeah,
that?
Yeah,
yeah.
I was.
Yeah,
I was
that's what
thinking
he
about
meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Anyways,
stop
so
motion is
number
getting
number
easier.
2.
Number 2 is, I can say, it's motion graphics. Typography is like quite easy.
Yeah.
You can just
I probably have to agree with that one.
just
Definitely.
like know, like have an understanding of flow and all that jazz.
Yeah.
And just sync it to whatever you're doing. So yeah, third would be, I guess, 2D animation, vector based.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3D.
'Cause it's-
sorry, yeah, 2D.
Yeah, because it allows a lot of freedom to your drawings. You can just like select this part of, like a drawing, and just copy and paste it on the other frame, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
yeah, and next would be traditional.
Mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
3D. Yeah. That's about
3D
it.
is your hardest.
Yeah, because like I don't know, personally I suck at Maya, and all the other 3D softwares.
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
get to that once it's my
Okay.
turn. So Tana, you want to go next or me?
I feel like mine will be. Some people are probably gonna be mad at mine, so you go first.
It's gonna be mad at yours. You're gonna say 3D animation's easiest, and I'm saying,
Be prepared.
All right. I'm gonna have to say, for me, I think typography is like the easiest, because I mean,
Okay.
like when it comes to animated logos or typography,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
me and my brother actually tried making like, excuse me, me and my brother tried making stuff like this back then, because I had to help him out with mostly coloring and like structuring the actual logo itself. I used to do that a long time ago.
Yeah.
The second one, I believe, for me would be like 2D animation, mostly because I've been doing it recently, and I see where FA was gonna go with like for 2D animation as 3, but for me 2D animation is 2 because, well, like, along with traditional animation, it's still kind of just like how you say it. It's only a little bit more limiting in terms of what program you use. That's pretty much it. Because I could probably use, say, Flash 8, and then like if I don't have the correct like brush size, I would have to go to Flash CS3. That's the only
Right.
limitation. The 3 for me, I would say is traditional animation.
Oh.
Only because
Ooh.
like because it's technically the same thing, but it's pen and paper. But not only that, it's that like you have to be very precise with your strokes. You have to make sure that it lines up with your next paper, because like you see back in the old days where they had to like create what onion skin is today. Like they had those fucking flat pieces of paper and they just like flip through it. They just flip through that shit.
it's
Like
technically
Yeah, they had like a
weird.
light box too.
yeah, like a whole light box for it.
Sounds
But
stupid.
like but that's the only other hard part is like if you're actually, well, I wouldn't say talented, but like if you have learned how to draw, like if you've been drawing like at least like a few either months or years, you would actually get it down quick. You would actually know how to place your time into scheduling when you should want to do traditional animation and whatnot. For me, for 4 is stop motion, because like, oh god, you would think that making the claymation is easier, but no. Have you seen Wallace and Gromit?
Well, yeah.
Do you see how hard it is to move the mouth, and like, do you see how time consuming that is? You have to have like a hyper camera just to even like make one scene.
I think I've gotten a relatively good example of how stop motion works from Cranbersher's stop motion tutorial,
Hmm.
No.
and he's the guy who's done like the stop motion kind
Yeah,
of cartoony puppet style for Markiplier.
yeah.
Oh, that
Um,
guy.
Yeah,
I love his stuff.
in his first of all, just off of the notes real quick.
Mhm.
In his tutorial series, he's began to like completely veer off from it being an actual tutorial and just give it an actual story instead, and I fucking love it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like I just go watch it. I don't want to spoil anything because it's so amazing, and I
Okay.
can't stop watching it because it's also incredibly well animated.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
So.
I have seen. Oh, dude, I don't know if you've seen a Vine of this, but they actually like they actually recreated the level 1-1 of Mario, just by just like using pieces of paper.
I think
I don't
I've
know if you've
seen
seen that
before.
It's like a whole GIF of it, but it's like really cool.
Yeah.
Like they even did the whole mushrooms. They did like the Goomba stomp and everything. Like again,
Everything's
with
very
that,
accurate.
like you have to cut each individual paper for that. Like the setup is hard. The freaking animation, like you have to like align that perfectly. And yet, even with onion skin, that's still a little hard. And you may like go like, "Oh, you're a perfectionist. Might as well just start just Control Z edging the paper." A little bit.
It's kind of
Like,
the
it's-
same as Cell's traditional animation as well.
Yeah, kind of. But with traditional animation, you have a little bit more ease of access. With with stop motion, you have to not only like get off your ass and just fucking just move the inch of your thing, but you also have to recalibrate.
Right.
If
You-
if
I
you
see what
mess
you mean.
one thing up, like,
Everything starts to crumble, and you have to
Oh,
you
redo
might
it
have
all.
to just start over on that scene.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
I
what
get it. I get it.
it gets very tedious. And then with CGI
Yeah, it's-
3D, like,
Okay.
are you fucking kidding me with this? You've seen Tarzan, right? That's like 2D, but the visuals in the background is 3D.
No, that's 2D on 3D.
What?
Yeah, it's 2D on
the
3D.
trees are all 3D.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they had like this whole thing,
You know
the
the
whole
animated
documentary.
Oh yeah,
Huh?
that too. There's also Howard Wimprust, I think.
Yeah,
Or something. I just butchered his name. He did.
I don't remember.
He made a video about it.
Yeah,
Animating 2D on a 3D plane.
Yeah, and then I've seen like a video on freaking Treasure Planet. You remember that movie?
Oh, dude.
Dude, that was
I
full
love
of
that
3D
Yeah.
object.
And I
that
haven't seen it.
dude. Oh
Might
my
as well just
god,
be
you
3D.
it's such an old movie. You can
So
probably
good.
rent that shit and watch it. It's
Yeah,
so
dude.
good, but
Dude,
it
literally,
flopped.
I watched
don't-
Lion
so
King
good.
for the first time last year.
The 2D one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh.
seems about right. I mean, I don't think that has 3D, but I think it has at least like
It
one
doesn't.
3D.
It's
Like
more-
it doesn't.
yeah.
It doesn't. I'm
It
just saying.
doesn't.
I saw it for the first time just last year,
I thought so.
and everyone gets mad at me for
Wait.
it.
Tarzan's the-
You just saw like no,
Yeah.
but like,
Tar-
dude,
Yeah.
fucking Treasure Planet. Like the characters are 2D, but that's the only thing that's 2D. The objects are 3D, and it's like it's more steampunkish. It's more steampunkish,
Oh.
but pirate.
That's the one thing
like
I
a
like
steampunk
about
pirate
the
theme.
Treasure Planet.
Dude, oh
Mm.
my god. The visuals are completely fantastic, but the problem is it bombed because the budget was like it was so demanding. Because like
Oh, so
just
that's why.
making the ship itself is a hassle in itself. Because not only did they have to make the ship, they had to make the visual effects of the thrusters, they had to make the the ship like coloring and whatnot. And that was all in 3D. Like all the stuff on there, including like the hoverboard that the main character Jimmy uses, that stuff is 3D. The freaking backgrounds are 3D. The treasure is like 2D only when the characters have it in their hands. And even the pirate dude, I forgot what his name is, but he has a mechanical arm that's in 3D, but the character
3D?
himself, yeah, that's 3D, but the character himself is 2D.
What?
Yeah. His
Oh my
freaking
God.
peg leg is 2D, and so is his arm.
And I have no idea what we're talking about.
Understandable, but it's just so big, it's so crazy that like it flopped only because it didn't sell well, and that disappoints me because there was going to be a Treasure Planet 2, and I was going to be so happy about that, but it screwed me. It screwed me hard.
I remember Treasure Planet being so fucking immersive.
It was, dude. The freaking I would go about it all day, but I'm just like, no, I can't do it. It's just you have to watch the movie
It's too
yourself.
much.
It's too good. It's too
It's
much.
a whole nother podcast.
But yeah, that's my easiest to hardest because, well,
Okay.
the reasons I explained. So, Tana, hurry up and
All
do
right.
your list before I go on a tangent.
So I think the easiest to animate is probably the same as Remy's motion graphics.
Yeah.
Is that like it's
Okay.
you don't need all of the principles of animation. You don't need to understand all of them in order to succeed in making a well designed and well
You
animated.
don't need to learn
Motion graphic.
anatomy or
Yeah.
Yeah. And like squash and stretch, Brian's probably
it's kind of like
Important.
stick figures.
It just
Yeah.
depends on what you're animating.
yeah, it heavily depends, but for the most part, I think you can do it with knowing as little as you can.
Yeah.
I think the next easiest is 3D animation.
I hate you. No,
Because
I can see the hate.
like okay, before Remy and FA convinced me with motion graphics,
I'm fuming.
3D was going to be my easiest by far.
oh my god.
But like, okay, let me explain.
I'm leaving. Okay.
Once
Go
you
ahead.
have the models,
All right, Kevin
one-
Hart.
once you have the models and everything, once you have everything coded, like the direction the hair is supposed to flow, the fur, go to that shit. Once you get to the actual animation, you just need to know the basic principles.
Okay, I see where you're going with
It's
this.
like keyframes and tweening. You mean?
I get.
Yes, because like that's to me, that is the only animation part of 3D animation.
Watch
Everything
Guilty
before
Gear
that
come again.
is just modeling, coding, setting things up. And I guess like for everything else, you could apply that as well. But still, when you break it down, to me, 3D animation would be the easiest.
Yeah. Okay,
Once you have everything you need.
I get what you mean, but let me. I don't want to like skew your choice, but I'm just gonna add on here. When it comes to 3D animation, I get because like I know where you're going with this. It's SFM because SFM basically has 3D animation and a whole keyframe and tweening stuff, And once you know about SFM, you
What's
basically
SFM?
just make some. Oh, Source Filmmaker.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's that type of stuff is basically all 3D animation, and like
Ooh.
that's how people make like these cool TF2 videos using SFM.
I've seen a Sonic one. They recreated Sonic Adventure 2. It's so good.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about too. The fucking the where Shadow fights Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But the only hard part, once you have the models, once you have everything, to me at least, is the hair or like the small particle effects that you have to input with the model. Because like you also have to animate
that
those
goes
as
back
well.
to like the coding shit. The penguins of Madagascar. It's a strange subject to bring up randomly.
Okay.
But they used them for a video to explain the average process for 3D animation in a movie.
Mm.
And they broke it down like it starts out with the models, and then the models get carried over to people who do the coding for hair movements, for how is everything supposed to interact with one
yeah.
another, masks and such.
There's always a team.
Then there's another group for the actual animation, and then there's another group for the crowd animation, which is just like a huge crowd of people, and everyone needs to be animated. Then they actually code most of that.
Mm.
Oh,
Again, it might just be
So-
it might just be me because like I can't code for shit.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
just
I can kind of
mentally dumb.
code.
Oh yeah, sure, you're Mr. 360.
No, the VR
What
VR
can't
did not
you
take
do?
any coding.
Oh well, I don't freaking know.
But like I'm in a machining class, and for
okay.
CNC machines, big boxes, there's a little bit of code
Mm.
that you need to know, but it's nowhere near to the level of something like even action script.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Show
number
off.
4.
No, actually, no, yeah, you're right. No, you're on
no,
two.
no,
You're
that
on
was
two.
not. That was
Yeah,
number 2.
Yeah, 3D animation was 2.
I was thinking 5, 4, 3, 2, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So number 2 is 3D.
Yeah.
Number 3, it's 2D animation.
That's fair.
Right.
I mean, for easy reasons, like it's far more editable if you fuck up
Yeah.
Yeah,
with
allows
the
more
undo
freedom
button.
with it.
I mean, unless you forget to save.
Oh, the Control Z, it's so good.
Oh yeah. Like I can't tell you how many times I've tried to draw and then
You can't do that
because
on
I
paper.
rarely do traditional drawing, but when I do, I just man, I fucked up, and I have this instinct to Control Z,
Just
and then
draw
I
Control
realize,
Z button.
wait, this is real life.
You just take out a piece of paper with Control and Z on it. And just press that.
Yeah. Number 4. I think it's traditional animation.
Oh my god.
It's fair.
Actually,
I
no,
guess.
never mind. I just realized it's easiest to hardest. Never mind. Yeah, continue.
Yeah, I'm doing this same last 2 as you. Fuck you, oh my god.
It's fucking anime.
Like, oh, this guy thinks stop motion is the most difficult. What fucking dork.
No, I
Literally roll like 10, 15 minutes back into the podcast. But yeah, traditional animation. How about it? Yep.
Yeah, okay. Then,
Yeah, I mean, what else more is there to say that hasn't already been said?
like, if
True,
you...
true.
Okay, I'm a fucking...
I mean,
weeb.
I've tried to make traditional animation once
Okay.
before. As long as you have like some background on animation, I think it's plausible. I don't think it's ideal. I don't think, like, especially with the tools that we have now, it's incredibly impressive when it's done right. Like Cuphead. Cuphead was really fucking good, but I would never be able to do that.
Same.
Because there was like a whole process. First, you have like the actual drawn out drawings. You can fuck up a little more because the other portion was done in
Was Cuphead fully
in
traditional?
pen. It was done digitally. But for the main draft, it was all done in paper. But then if you go to
Oh,
like Disney
they
and
just
shit,
import it.
that was all done on paper for a while.
Right. Most of
So-
the old anime shows are made with
Yeah,
shells.
and there's like there's God, I can go on and on and on about how amazing traditional animation is, how fascinating it is.
Yeah, it is.
It's like especially how they did those like the far off backgrounds without
Yeah.
like redrawing it every time because they had to stay very accurate. They had like a very specific machine built for that.
Hmm.
It's so cool. I don't know. Okay. And then, of course, the most difficult for me, at least, is stop motion because, however, if you just fuck one thing up, one motion up by accident, if you nudge your table, you could risk restarting the whole project.
Yeah. Like,
I think that's pretty fair to say that's not only the most stressful, but the most challenging.
hmm
It's funny though, cause like I started off with stop motion.
You did.
Yeah.
It-
I was a
really?
kid at that. Yeah, I do. I
Huh.
was a kid at that time. I don't really know how stop motion properly works, so I just grabbed my mom's phone and just record a video and just press the pause button over and over again. So
oh, that,
it's
oh,
dumb.
Oh, that's
I mean,
huge.
that's
works
so,
in a
that's
way.
adorable.
That's
It
something
works
I
in a
would have
way.
done though.
But it works
Dude.
Just like a makeshift stop motion
though. Yeah,
setup.
it is. It is.
That's so cool.
It runs in a very slow frame rate.
Aw.
That's
just
freaking
got-
adorable. All right.
Yeah, I just got
Oh,
cars
man.
and all
That's
the
like-
other toys I have.
That's basically like how we. That's basically like how we did it with friggin' Pivot. It's like, oh, we think it would move, but it's like the opposite. It's like, oh, we think it will stop.
Yeah, seeing something move is like very fascinating.
Yeah,
Whenever
you would think that
whenever
it's
you
like
start it.
a video for video, but no, it's picture for picture.
Wait, imagine that, but like you think that you hit pause every time, but really you start recording.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just like
It's like
tap it very
reverse. So it's
quickly.
like you get one image set up,
Yeah,
and then
like,
you pause it thinking that you're like snapping a picture, and you unpause it, and then you hear like your family arguing in the background. It's just like jump cuts of just you moving a puppet.
Your family arguing in the front. Oh my god! I just see. I'm like, oh my god!
Dude, I should animate that for real.
Oh god!
Oh, that's a good-
It's like,
Freaking really
oh my
nice
god! Off on a tangent here because like that just reminded me of the videos. Like the kid just doing watch me whip, but the parents are arguing.
Oh yeah.
I just
Kids
think of
come-
that.
There's another
Coming out
video
of
of
his eye.
someone recording their computer, their like phone's probably propped up on a shoe, and you can just hear their parents discussing divorce in the background. And then you hear the kid slowly about to cry. It's
Oh
so
god, it's so
terrible.
sad. Oh
So
fuck,
sad.
dude.
But oh god. Okay, let's end this. Let's end this before it gets too sad. It's going down a bad road. Okay. Thank you all for
Wait.
joining the first episode of Animacast. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
What a first
Uh,
episode, man.
I'd say thank
Actually,
you.
anything you want to plug?
My
Just anything.
I don't
Go
know.
one at a time, please.
Okay.
FA
Who-
first.
who's the- Okay, I guess like I draw a bunch of stuff, mainly anime. So, yeah, just follow me on Twitter and Instagram, I guess, if you want. It's by the same name. Just type my name.
Yeah. If you come from my channel, he's participated in a few of my collab. Like
Oh yeah,
the Imitator and the 360 are two right off my head.
Imitator is the first one I've. It's actually the first collab I joined.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, lucky you. No, I'm playing.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, so check him out. Remy, what's up?
Oh shit. I have to log into my hands because I forget which one it is because my THG usually is just TH and it's weird. Anyway, friggin' if you want to see me, just hit me up, RemyTHG. I'm always that brown stick figure with a black headband. Literally, you can't miss it. But the only difference is my YouTube, the Shaded Gamer, which is TSG instead. But it'll also have the same brown stick figure with a black headband.
Right.
I'm always
ESG, THG, TS, TH. Just fucking choose.
No. You're not my dad. No.
You're not my
What if he
dad,
is?
Mom.
You're not my dad. Get out of the tank right now. No, you're not my dad. But yeah, I think those are the only two I ever use. If you want to hit me on my Discord for like questions or whatnot, we also have we also have a Discord that we use as well. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's about it. Freaking antenna. Yeah, go.
All right. Feel free to check me out on Hyun's Dojo. See H360 with the partner logo. That's me. Yeah. So what?
Wow, weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, no. Subscribe to my YouTube. Anywhere else, I don't really give a shit. But yeah, thank you all for dropping by. Appreciate it. Let us know who you might want to see in the next episode or in the future, whether it be a far out there request or someone from the dojo who I have easy contact with, preferably.
We will attempt to get to them.
Yeah, I'm hoping like Hyun maybe. Yeah, Heckray definitely. Heckray, hit me up, man, or I'm gonna hit you up.
Or I'm gonna hit you.
All right, I'm gonna hit you if you don't join Animacast. I will go over to where I don't know where he is, but I will find him.
I hear a thud, and then I just hear like, I'm gonna fucking find you, and I swear to God, I just hear like a huge ass thud.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks for dropping by, everyone. We appreciate it. Let us know who you want to see, and that's about it from us. So, bye-bye.
See you, dudes. Oh my God!
Gotcha.